Since you guys are so good at remaining civil in the comment section, I have no fears about this one. I mean, God, when I said I wasn't a huge fan of World at War, nobody lost their shit at all and did literally everything but threaten my life over it. Whatever. People don't understand how a tier ranking system works. Just because something's at the bottom of a list, if you notice, I left it as D, not trash. I don't think these games are trash. They're just at the bottom of the list when it comes to Call of Duty games I want to revisit. I even said nice things about this game and people are still like, oh, you don't like World at War and you like Infinite Warfare. There's something wrong with you. No, there's something wrong with you. You didn't pay attention to the video and you don't realize that, hey, maybe I really just love the entire franchise. There's just games that I prefer playing over others. Hell, there was a montage at the end of that video that showed how appreciative of the COD franchise that I am. I'm sorry, that's still bothering me a little bit. The Call of Duty community hasn't been able to have a rational thought since its inception, and I don't know why I'm still surprised about it. Anyway, moving on because I haven't already fucking digressed enough yet. You read the title, you're probably already mad. Why would I say that consoles are better for PvP? That's just factually incorrect, right? Well, it's kind of a thought experiment. This isn't a definitive statement. In fact, I want this to be a question to you guys because I honestly love putting these topics out and then seeing how you guys respond to them. This is a conversation, a thought experiment. Don't think that I'm making a definitive, this is how it is kind of, video. That's not what this is. Alright, so why are you seeing old gameplay here? Well, as I was looking through this gameplay in my gameplay clip folder, I had a realization. PC gaming is wildly inconsistent. And of course, what I'm about to say does not extend to pro gaming, like pro level plays, esports level plays. I don't care. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the average, Mary Sue and John Doe that sit down and play video games in the evening. I'm talking about the average person hopping into public matches, public ranked matches with their friends. I'm not talking about professional e-athletes, okay? Let's not go there. I get that in my comment section. It's not what I'm ever referring to. I have no balls in that court, and I'm not going there. So when you play on PC, you don't know who you're playing against, like on console just as well. But on PC, there's so many variables. You see, computers are all about parts, and those parts are very important. Computers are modular systems for the most part, and that adds in a ton of variables. If you don't think those parts are important, okay, that's fine. I mean, I do think it comes down to the skills of the gamer. I think everything comes down to your attitude, your skill level, your practice, your confidence, your ability to win and lose gracefully, all traits that I don't have. But I think that's what gaming comes down to, whether you're playing on a potato computer, an old Xbox, using a crappy headset or a great headset, a great display or a terrible one, I don't care. I've played with them all. I've played with broken controllers, crappy screens, bad headsets, old computers, but I still think my wins and my losses and how I dealt with them came down to me. That being said, not everything's created equally, and somebody with lower tier hardware or a just lower quality setup is going to have a problem. PC gaming has a lot of variables, from your mousepad to your wrist rest, to your GPU, to your processor, to how hot your processor gets, to how hot your GPU gets, to what your monitor refreshes at, and whether or not it has gaming enhanced features like G-Sync or FreeSync. The variables on console, as I see them and as I've experienced, is controllers, whether or not they're elite, standard, SCUF controllers, whatever they might be, headsets, whether they're good quality or bad quality, displays, whether you have a nice screen with low input lag or a bad screen with high input lag, or a nice screen with bad input lag, or great input lag on a bad screen. And then of course your network setup, whether or not you're using an Ethernet cable or wireless, your router set up properly, or there's a lot of people on your network. Those are the main variables. And you might think, well, that's quite a bit, but of course that doesn't get anywhere near mousepad size, keyboard type, mouse type, GPU, CPU, core temperatures, sometimes even RAM, SSD, HDD, G-Sync, no G-Sync, 144 Hz, 75 Hz, 120 Hz, 230 Hz, whatever it might be. There's just a lot of variables, and I know there's lots of people out there that play on old laptops. That's a big thing. They play on old laptops, which even new high-end ones don't have optimal cooling compared to a desktop, so you have you throw in some age, you throw in some dated hardware, and it can get a little messy. And some people are frankly just playing on potato computers. I used to be that person, and it was rough. So the reason I'm saying this is that when you hop online and you don't know who you're connecting to, that's already a giant variable. You don't know who they are, how skilled they are, how dedicated they are, how focused they are, if they're paying attention. They might be an asshole, they might be really nice, they might be a good sport, they might be a good teammate or a bad teammate. You already just don't know. And on console, you at least know they're playing on a PlayStation, they're playing on a Switch, they're playing on an Xbox. And console games run at certain frame rates. They're optimized to run at certain settings and certain levels of quality. I'm 99% sure you're not going to make anybody's frame rate drop in Rainbow Six Siege or Call of Duty because you threw a smoke grenade. But some people on PC, you might be lowering their frame rate because of a smoke grenade. Especially if the game isn't well optimized. They might have a nice computer, but certain games just really favor the highest end hardware. A great example of that would be PUBG or Squad. And I'm sorry, if you're playing against somebody on PC that has just incredibly better hardware, they're going to have an advantage. They're going to be running at higher frame rates. They might have a G-Sync monitor that makes the game just smoother for them. They might have a high-end gaming mouse instead of just some sort of optical mouse that came with your computer. One limit case that it really isn't that insane and isn't that uncommon is like the same situation my girlfriend goes through on her laptop. She loves playing Overwatch on her laptop. The game goes well above 60 frames per second on the highest settings, but over time, because it's a laptop, it gets hot. And thermal throttling is a real thing, and she either takes a break or in the winter opens the window behind the computer. And you can just kind of watch the frames kind of go down throughout play sessions on laptops, and that's just kind of a thing. Now, not every laptop's created equally, and not every game's going to heat up your computer. I'm not saying that if you're playing on a laptop, you're on a time limit because the game's going to start like drastically ruining your frame rate, making you not competitive anymore. I'm just saying there's less parity. So maybe console's better in that respect when it comes to, public match online gaming for the average people. You know that somebody has an Xbox. Now, yes, some people are assholes and they hook up keyboards and mice to consoles and they ruin the experience for everyone. Yeah, you know who you are and you know what you're doing and you need to stop it. And yeah, you might have an Xbox One X and you might be playing against somebody that has an Xbox One. And maybe you have smoother frame rates, but you guys are way closer together than like the opposite ends of the spectrum. Like the opposite end of the spectrum, in my opinion, when it comes to console gaming, when it comes to Xbox, because that's where I play, you either have an Xbox One X and an Elite controller or SCUF controller, or you have a default Xbox One with a default controller. Those are like the big opposite ends of the spectrum on console, whereas if you know anything about PC hardware, the two ends of the spectrum are very, very far apart. So maybe it's almost more competitive, it's more of a level playing field, there's more consistency between the types of people you run into, and there's just less variables to have to account for and deal with and worry about. Because people bring enough variables into the equation, and I'm not saying that console gaming is better than PC gaming, I'm just saying, maybe that level of consistency across hardware, though it never exceeds and it never, breaks through the glass ceiling and breaks 144 frames per second. And of course, the ability to excel is better than the ability to be equal in a lot of cases. But when it comes to competitive video games, maybe not. We already excel as people. We already get better as people. When you're fighting real people, you're fighting somebody with experiences and trials and things in their own life they're fighting through. And maybe you shouldn't have to worry about whether or not they have like a $3,000 monitor or a $200 monitor. Maybe that shouldn't be something you have to worry about. And maybe that's the reason a lot of people play on console. And well, fuck it, I just play on both. I really don't care. Play whatever you want. I don't care if you play on a toaster that's powered by potatoes. Play whatever you want and have as much fun as you need. Please share your thoughts in the comment section below. Tell me if I'm off my rocker. Tell me if I missed something. And yeah, I know that keyboard and mouse is better, but then it's like, what keyboard and mouse do you have? And how big's your mouse pad? Is your desk big enough for your setup? And there's so many more variables. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe I'm just a dummy. I don't know. This video's ending here. It was gonna be a 5-minute video, but I really can't talk about this for just 5 minutes, guys, especially when I have to waste the first minute just rambling about nonsense. But I'll do you guys a favor. I won't get this video to 10 minutes. I'll just starve. I just won't make any money from this video. I'll just die. But that's okay, because then you guys will respect me. A YouTuber making no money is better than a YouTuber getting a return for their time. Because at least they have your respect. See ya.